Okay, guys, in this session, we're gonna discuss about generators. So, what is a generator? So, in Python, generators are these have capabilities that so that it can return the crossing object and use it to make iterators. It simultaneously traverse all the items. So, let's say you have the some five number of items in a list. These generators simultaneously traverse those all of the items, and the generators can also be expressed with syntax similar to in our Python's list comprehension. These are very these generators can also be expression which will have the expression very similar to the list comprehension. Okay, there is a lot of complexity in creating iteration generally in Python. Okay, we need to implement the iter and next methods to keep track of internal states. So we need what? So if you want to do the iteration, you need uh, sorry underscore iter sorry iter method. Okay, you have the iter method. Okay, and or you can use the and you will have the uh, next underscore. These are the two uh, methods which are used to keep track of internal states. If you want to track the internal states, you need iter and next methods. It is a lengthy process to create iterators. So it is very lengthy process in Python. That's why the generators plays an essential role in simplifying the whole process. This whole process will be simplified by using the generators. If there is no value found in the iteration, it raises stop iteration exception. Stop iteration exception. It will raises this exception when there is no value found in iteration. Okay, what it returns exception? It returns the stop iteration exception when there is no value found in the iteration. Generally, we use iter and next methods to do the iteration, but that's a lengthy process. To avoid this, there is a now there comes the existence of generators. So in Python, creating a generator is not difficult at all. It is like the physical capability characterized by the def catchphrase and utilization. We use the yield watchword rather than written. So in general, in functions we have used see here in normal functions what we have used written, right? So for this function we have used written, right? So but not in generators. Instead of written keyword we will use the yield keyword. So here so whenever you use a yield keyword to a function, okay, whenever you use yield keyword to a function instead of a written keyword, this will be turned into a generator. Okay, whenever a function has a yield keyword instead of the written keyword, that function is considered as the generator. Okay, for this I'll give you one example. Are you getting, guys, any confusions? Okay, okay, okay. Guys, any doubts, guys? Just do let me know. Guys, you there? Are you able to hear me? Okay, because I did not get any response. That's the reason I thought I got a disconnection. Fine then. So generators, you got the concept right. For a function, if you use yield keyword instead of return keyword, that function will be considered as the generator. For this, I'll give you one example. To define a function, we use def keyword. This time we will go with hello as the name of the function, colon, and then enter. Now you are in under the function. You are in inside of the function. For I in range, let's say 10. Okay, enter. If uh, I ampersand 2 or 3 is equals to 0, if it is divisible by 3 and you get the remainder 0, then yield. That's it guys. This is a generator. Here I have instead of yield keyword, you can use return. Okay, but I'm not using return keyword. This will be, if I use the return keyword to a function, to this hello function, this will be considered as the normal function. But instead of this, I'm gonna use, instead of return, I'm gonna use yield as the keyword. So now this is a this is a generator. For this, if you want to call this for loop, you need a successive function call. You need a, if you want to call this function, you need a successive function call. For, I'm going to use for I in, what is the name of the function? Hello. So here, I'm going to print all those I, all the resultant. See here, there is none. When the divisible by 3, the remainder gets 0, there is none. Okay, let me go with 2. If I get the remainder 0, for that I should get still none. Anything. I need keyword. Okay. Okay. I haven't returned this. See here. Okay. For let me try with 3. See here. 0. First range. You know how the range function works, right? The range starts with what? Come on, guys. Till 9, right? It won't take 10. Okay. Next. I, first it will take 0. 0 ampersand 3 is equals to 0. Yes. 1 divided by 3, obviously you will get the 0 as the remainder. Yes. Printed. 1 ampersand 3. 1 divided by 3, the remainder is not 0. So it will not get print. For 2, same. For 3, 3 divided by 3, the remainder will be 0. That will get prints. So for the 3, 6, 9 only, you will get the keyword. Any doubts, guys? You can write the same thing. Okay, print that I. So if I use this, see, you will come to know the difference. So there I is not defined because you are come out of the loop. For this, we'll use the generators iteration. As I told you, for the iterations, okay, for the iterations we use the, this is called successive for loop. This is called successive for loop. If any for loop which is out of the function and it is very parallel to the def keyword, it's a blind logic, guys, that will be considered as the successive function call. So you will take the same function, but here instead of range you're gonna have call the function name. Here, okay, I'll give you one more example. Uh, okay. Okay. I'll give you one example. This will demonstrate. This will wipe off all your doubts. Okay. First one. I'm gonna have first one, that is let's say a1 as the first function. Okay. And it will have a string. Uh, it will have str. Let's say str1. This function, this string will have mm, hello. Okay. Next, I'm gonna use yield keyword for this. Yield what? That str1. Okay. This is first one. Second, str2 is equals to, here, welcome. I'm gonna have welcome as the keyword. Now here I'll write return str2. So here I'm not, sorry, here I'm not using yield keyword, so that I want you to understand the difference. String 3, hi. Here I'll use yield keyword, and I'll call this 3. Okay, this is my function. So in here in the first part, I have taken up a string and I have returned with a yield keyword. Here in the second code, second block, I have taken a string and I am returning with a return keyword. In the third block, I'm gonna I'm gonna return this with yield keyword. Okay, now I will create one object. Now I am calling this function, guys. Now we need to call the function, right? So let's run this. It won't give you anything. Okay, so for this you need to call a function. You come out of the loop. Yes, we are out of the loop. Let me create one object, or you can say temporary variable. So here I'm gonna call my a1 function. So I'm calling. Now after calling, I want to call all three of the blocks. First one, for this, as I told you, next, I'll use the next or iter. Okay, next, here obj. So the first one will get executed. See here, hello, right? If I use this for the next one, print next one, that is obj. If I run this, it will give me error, because the reason is this return keyword cannot be considered as the return type. When it comes to generators, it must use yield keyword. So you can execute more than one return keyword here. See here, you got two. Now I'm gonna go with 3. That is next. That is obj for the third object also, for this third block, third string. So hi. Let's say you have given a return keyword instead of yield keyword. So it says there is a error. You got the difference, right? So mm, mm, ah, yes, 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 yes. It won't execute. It won't execute, because the thing is, for a single function, you can have only one return keyword. Okay, but when it comes to generators, you can have more than uh, more than one returns, but we cannot take returns. That is the reason, instead of return keyword, we are using the yield keyword, right? Okay, so the yield statements produces a this yield statement. So whenever you use this yield keyword, this yield statement will produce a generator object. Here generate, there is a generator object and can return multiple values. See here, this is the first value, this is second value, and this is third value. Because of this return keyword, it is unable to process. So if you use the yield keyword, it will generate multiple values to the caller. What is the caller? This A1 is the caller without terminating the program. It is not terminating the program. So, whereas a return keyword statement is used to return a value to the caller from within a function and it terminates the function. Okay, it terminates the program. Let's say I have given here return keyword. If I run this now, see here. You got the output? No. So that's the reason we don't use return keyword. Instead of this, we use the yield keyword. So it will returns the multiple values to the caller function, calling function without terminating the program. And whereas a return statement is used to return a. So here I'll give you one simple difference: return versus yield. So this will have the yield state, the return. This return keyword will, this return statement is used to return a value. It is to return a value to the calling function uh, calling. It is a calling from within a function. It is a calling a function within a function, and not only this, and it terminates the program. Okay, this is the return. When it comes to yield keyword or yield statement, it is to return multiple values, not the single value, multiple values to the calling function from within a function, and it will continue continue the it continues the execution. It won't terminate. This is the major difference between. So here, what is the difference between yield keyword to a, sorry, what is the difference between return and yield keyword? Return function, it returns a value, a single, it returns a single value to the calling function or the caller. I can say caller, that's good. Caller is nothing but the function, guys. Okay, function, name of the function. So a return keyword, a return statement, it returns a single value to the caller from within a function. Okay, and it returns the program. Okay, it is in the within the function and returns the single value for the return keyword. But when you use the yield keyword or statement, it will returns multiple values to the caller from within a function, and it will continues the execution. See, after executing this hello, again it is executing this yield keyword. This yield keyword is done, again it will, if there are any code present in this function, it will execute continuously. Okay, that is the difference between a generator and to sorry return and a yield. So whenever you see a yield keyword in a function, that will be considered as the generator. Whenever you see a return keyword in a function, that's a normal function. Okay, that's not a generator. But whenever a function consists a yield keyword instead of return keyword, that will be considered as the generator. Are we good? Any doubts as of now? Fine then. That's all for today, guys. Tomorrow we'll have another session in another topic.